Halloween, the night when the veil between the living and the dead thins, when laughter and screams sound the same. And sometimes, something laughs back. The wind howled through the quiet suburbs, making the plastic skeletons on porches rattle like real bones. In one glowing house at the end of Elmwood Street, Mary was decorating for her favorite holiday pumpkins carved into wicked smiles, candles flickering beside fake cobwebs, and a soft tune of eerie Halloween bells playing on the radio. Her daughter Crystal, 10 years old and full of excitement, ran into the room clutching a tiny plastic witch broom. "Mom, let's have the Halloween party here this time." "Not at Uncle John's," she pleaded, her eyes shining. Mary smiled, still arranging her row of jack-o'-lanterns. "That's actually a good idea, sweetheart. We'll make it the scariest Halloween ever." From the couch, her husband Joe didn't look up from his phone. "As long as there's beer and snacks, I'm in." Mary chuckled. Then it settled. Our house, Halloween night. Outside, the wind whispered softly through the trees. The next day, the Halloween market buzzed with life. Orange lights glowed through drifting fog, laughter and screams mixed in the air, and the scent of caramel apples clung to everything. Crystal darted between stalls, fascinated by every monster mask and costume: zombies, clowns, ghosts, vampires. Then she stopped. In a dark corner of the store, far from the colored lights, hung a black witch costume, tattered, old, and strangely breathing. "That one," she whispered. Joe frowned. "Sweetie, it looks ancient." "I want that one," she insisted. From the shadows emerged the shopkeeper, a frail man with skin like paper and eyes as pale as frost. His voice scraped like broken glass. "It's one of a kind," he croaked. "The mask comes with it. Once you put it on, it fits perfectly." He smiled. There were no teeth. Crystal didn't hesitate. She grabbed the mask. As they left the store, Joe thought he heard something faint, a whisper carried by the wind. Perfectly. Halloween night arrived. The house pulsed with red light and fog. Guests laughed and danced in monstrous masks, the air thick with excitement and something darker. Mary floated through the crowd in her fairy queen costume, glittering beneath the dim bulbs. Joe played the role of a vampire, drink in hand. And Crystal, she was a witch, dressed in the black costume with that strange, unsettling mask. It fit too perfectly. As the night wore on, the laughter began to fade. A sudden hush spread through the room as a man stepped forward, tall, pale, dressed in torn black pants and a blood-stained white shirt. His voice was soft, too soft. "You've all come dressed as ghosts," he said. "Why not invite a real one?" Mary laughed nervously. "You mean a seance?" "Yes," the man replied. "There was an accident nearby. A man died screaming. His spirit hasn't found peace. Shall we call him?" There was hesitation, then laughter. Someone muttered, "Let's do it." No one noticed that Crystal's mask seemed to be smiling wider. The lights went out. Candles burned low, painting the room in trembling orange shadows. The guests sat in a circle, hands on a spirit board. Mary whispered, "If any spirit is here, show us a sign." The air turned cold. So cold their breath hung like smoke. Curtains fluttered though the windows were sealed. The candles wavered, then died. Darkness swallowed them whole. A whisper slithered through the room. "I'm here," someone screamed. Suddenly, the pale man burst into laughter, tearing off his mask. It was Peter, their prankster friend. "Got you. I used to fan for the wind." Classic, right? Laughter broke the tension. Mary shook her head, half relieved, half annoyed. But when Peter reached for the light switch, something snapped. A flash. A scream. The smell of burnt flesh. When the lights flickered back, Peter lay on the floor, eyes open, mouth frozen in a silent scream. No one moved. The music never came back on. Joe insisted it was an accident, bad wiring, he said. But Mary couldn't stop shaking. Crystal hadn't spoken since. She sat at the breakfast table, still wearing her mask. "Sweetheart, take it off now," Mary whispered. Crystal didn't answer. Then, without a word, she reached for a piece of raw meat from the counter and began to eat it. "Crystal, stop." Her daughter lifted her head slowly. Her eyes were black, bottomless. Blood dripped from her chin. "Don't stop me," she said, her voice deep, distorted, doubled. "I like it this way." The lights flickered, and a whisper floated through the kitchen. Hungry. That night, Mary crept into Crystal's room. It was freezing. The walls were covered in strange, crimson symbols. The mask lay beside her bed, whispering softly in a voice only the dark could understand. Mary reached for it. Crystal sat up with a sharp twitch. "You shouldn't have played with the dead, Mommy," she said. Her voice was no longer hers. It was something ancient, layered, like two beings speaking through the same throat. Mary stumbled backward and ran to the church. Within an hour, Father Thomas stood in their home, tall, weary, holding a silver cross. "There's something here," he said softly. "Something watching us." He began to pray. The candles flared blue. The mask rose from the floor, twisting in the air like smoke come alive. "You called me," it hissed. "Now I'll stay." Crystal convulsed, bones cracking, her small frame bending unnaturally. Mary screamed. The priest's voice rose in defiance, ancient Latin words filling the room. The mask screamed too, a sound of 1,000 lost souls crying in agony. Then, suddenly, it flew at Mary's face. Her body jerked. Her eyes opened. And in a whisper not her own, she said, "I didn't come alone." The window shattered. Candles exploded. Darkness devoured everything. Hours later, silence. Father Thomas knelt beside Mary's still body, cross trembling in his hand. "Leave this vessel," he whispered. In the name of the Father, a scream erupted loud, piercing, inhuman, shaking the house. Then, stillness. The mask lay smoking on the floor. Father Thomas wrapped it in a cloth, muttering prayers, and carried it to the cemetery. He buried it deep beneath an old oak, sealing it with holy water and trembling lips. "You are lucky," he murmured to the night. The spirit wasn't pure evil. "Next time, don't summon what you can't send back." He turned and disappeared into the fog. For a long moment, nothing moved. Then the soil shifted. A faint, muffled laugh echoed beneath the ground. And somewhere in the distance, a child's whisper floated on the wind. Trick or treat, they thought it was just a party. But the dead don't like being called for fun.